5, and we'll be in verses 6 and 7 this morning. Please go ahead and open up your Bibles. So we'll see it starts off with, therefore humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, and so forth. So let's go and see, well, why therefore? We've got to get the context ahead of them. So let's go to verse 5, chapter 5, verse 5. Likewise, you younger people, submit yourselves to your elders. Yes, all of you, be submissive to one another, and be clothed with humility, for God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. In verse 6, therefore humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Verse 7, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. And we're going to see now, these verses are really cool because there's a promise and there's also a warning or a caution. So the first part here, therefore humble yourselves. Well, to humble, if you were with us during the last morning devotional, we defined as not rising far from the ground. And you can look at this as staying rooted in the ground in the Lord. Don't grow far apart from him. Don't pride yourself, don't ego, don't separate yourself in sin, don't be boastful, don't put yourself on higher ground. Stay rooted, don't rise above and away from the Lord. And then you see, therefore humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God. Well, what is the mighty hand of God? This is associated with creation. This is associated with works. Under the mighty hand of God, I see this strong fatherly figure that is going to fight and do things for you. And it's under these works that he may exalt you, it says. So this word, with his hands, I think you can really see it's tied to his helping you. It's a symbology of his might, his strength, his activity in our lives, his power. And this may be in upholding our righteousness. It may be in preserving our sanctity, our hearts. It may be in protecting our path and going ahead and providing for us. It could also be his hand at work to rebuke our flesh, that conviction, that revealing of our sin. But literally here, the word exalt comes in and means to be lifted up. So he's working to lift us up. It says that he may exalt you, but in due time. So we have to be patient, church. And that's really, I think, one of the most interesting things here is humble ourselves, that his hand will do the work, and in due time will be lifted up. But that's the challenge, because day in and day out, you're getting hit with all sorts of different worldly things coming in, desires, pleasures, sins that are tempting you back to this old man that you once were, that should be dead on the cross, but is easy for us to fall back to because some of those things we thought they were comfortable, we thought they would deliver, but they don't sustain. And we know that in the Lord, but we still struggle with it because we're in this fleshly body that seeks to give it to itself. But we're being told here by Peter this warning, hold on, be patient, be humble under the works of the Lord in his hand, and in due time, he's going to exalt you. And the cool thing is, it says, casting all your cares upon him. You don't have to overthink this. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to try to figure these things out on your own. Cast your cares upon him. Lord, I am struggling with this. If you got a journal, write it down every single day and night and watch and see what he takes away and the things that he does and the ways that he blesses your life. And maybe it doesn't get taken away. Maybe you have that thorn in your side. Maybe it's just a matter of getting some sort of endurance or strength or provision from him that helps you see things a little bit differently, and it can be used for his glorification. But in due time, we do know that you will be exalted. These things will all be taken away. We'll have a new body that doesn't call us to these sins and desires of the flesh, and we'll be able to just be exalted and be in worship and praise for him. The big kicker here, though, is why, and again, because he cares for you. We cannot forget that. Church, if there's anything that I could give you today out of this message, the Lord cares for you. He's not sitting here punishing you, doing things against you. He's got a greater plan. It's in his time, and he's at work. There's nothing that you can do to solve this world. It will not sustain. You will just struggle and fight and fight and fight. But cast your cares on him. Have peace in the love that he provides, in the enduring strength that he provides, in the provision that he provides, even if it doesn't look like it to you. Pray and pray and pray. Write it down and watch him go to work in your life. He's a mighty God, and he loves and cares for you. I hope that's a blessing to you, church. I look forward to seeing you all pretty shortly here.